San Antonio Spurs fans, a few of these guys are not going to be Spurs next year. The question is, who?
Go Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stay.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Came across an article from Air Alamo about 4 fringe San Antonio Spurs players that deserve another shot next season. This is going to be a live reaction to their 4 players. So what I did is I came up with a list of 8 players that are partially under contract, on a 2-way contract, or under no contract at all next year. And I think it's going to be from that pool. So we're going to go over that in just a moment. While I'm doing so, make your own list out of the guys I mentioned. Like, which guys do you think should come back? I don't think players like Sidy Cissoko or Blake Leslie are going to be on the list. I think it's going to be guys that didn't play much at all or played a little bit at the end of the season to show us something. I could be totally wrong, but let me know in the comments. Hit the thumbs up if you like support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs and sports community. So before we get into the article, first off, the list. Devonte Graham. I'm actually going to pull up my thumbnail again. Devonte Graham. I think that's a no for next year. He was paid $12 million to do pretty much nothing most of the season until the end of the year. Yes, he hit the big game winner against the Nuggets, which was awesome. Nice to see him have that moment in the season, but overall, played very little. I think we're going to eat these. I think it's about $2.5 million guaranteed and end up waiving it. So, Devonte Graham, thank you for your service. Once a Spur, always a Spur, but I think he's going to be gone. Raquan Gray. I think it's going to be a surprise. I'm going to say yes. This guy's a tank. 6'7", 270 pounds. And showed us that he could shoot in a little bit that we saw him. I think they probably do bring him back on a 2-way contract. Jamari Bouye, the Bouye. His last name's better than his on-court play. I don't think he's going to be Bouyeing himself somewhere else. Seriously, I'd like to see him get a chance, but I don't think the Spurs have seen enough in Jamari Bouye to bring him back next season. Cedi Osman, hey, I'm right next to you. My guts tell me the Spurs don't re-sign him. I think this is going to be a no. The man in the middle. Sandro Mamukelashvili. This is the easiest duh, I think, out of any of these. This is a yes. He played phenomenal with Wemby at the end of the year. I cannot see any scenario where the Spurs do not bring back Mamu. A little next to Mamu, Dominic Barlow. Young big with some potential. I think this is also yes. I think the Spurs bring him back. So this is 3 so far for me out of the 4 Air Alamo's going to talk about in a moment. Gorgui Dieng. You might be saying, what, TSR? Yeah, we're still paying him. He's under contract next year, according to Sport Track. No, he's not coming back, so thank you very much. And David Duke Jr. I think this is a yes. I think he showed us he can shoot. We need shooters. He's way over there on the second to the far left. If you don't recognize him, I think we bring him back on a 2-way as well. So my 4 players that I think we're bringing back are Raquan Gray, Sandro Mamukelashvili, Dominic Barlow, and David Duke Jr. out of the 7 guys that are shown here. Okay, now let's see how close or far off I was, Spurs fans. How you doing? Charles Bassey. Oh, this is not what I thought at all. Okay, Charles Bassey had that season-ending injury. I did not think this was one of those players. He's already under contract. He's coming back regardless, isn't he? Or is a non-guaranteed contract? Well, I did say we're winging this. This is going to be a live reaction. So Charles Bassey, look. I'll give my 2 cents in each player. I like Charles. The season-ending injuries, 2 years in a row, both to the knee. I think it's the same knee every time that's getting dinged up with him. If they bring him back, great, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Spurs move on from him. All right, let's get to the next one. Oh, I'm way off on these. But I did my Cedi. All right, so I was right about one of these players. That would be on their list. They have him as yes. I had him as a no. He'll be a free agent, and they are saying he's a useful offensive player in the second unit. Gives us some energy and some boost. I think the biggest problem we're going to have is just all the draft picks that we come up with the next few years. It's a tough one. I could see him bringing him back because we could use a vet on the bench. Even though he's under 30, he would be one of the longest tenured players in the NBA on our roster. So I'm fine with this one. Okay, Cedi Osman coming back. On board. Certainly hope Charles can be injury-free and be, a piece for us, but I just don't trust. I don't trust the injury. This was the no-brainer, was it not? I mean, how can we not bring Mamu? Oh, these ads are killing me. I mean, yes, he looked great in the last few weeks. Here you go. Over the final 7 games of the season, Sandro Mamukelashvili thrived in a bigger role, averaging almost 12 points per game and 10 rebounds in 26 minutes per game. He also drilled 38% of his threes on about 4 attempts per game, proving that he can adequately space the floor, especially while playing next to Wemby. And yes, when he was out there with Wemby, he looked great. When Wemby wasn't there, maybe not as good, but he did. Yes, this is an absolute yes for me. They're saying they think can bring him back for 3 years to 15 to 18 million. Listen, if we can bring Mamu back for 3 years for 15 million, yes, 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 yes. Okay, sorry. So I don't think the two-way guys I talked about are going to be. They're not going to be on this. Raekwon Gray and David Duke Jr. not going to be on this list. We agreed on Mamu. Chetty we disagreed on. Charles I didn't even have on the list. Is Dominic Barlow number one guy here? Could Dominic Barlow be their number one? Let's take a look. It's in a book. A reading rain. Come on, Air Alamo. You got to load up your 24. Wow. Okay. Well, this is a reaction. Devonte Graham's their number one guy. We should bring back. The Spurs will soon have to make a decision on point guard Devonte Graham, who has a non-guaranteed contract worth $12.6 million for next season. At first glance, it would seem like an easy decision for the team to decline his option, which would make him a free agent and save them $9.8 million in salary. Okay, so the guaranteed amount is $2.8 million. Okay. However, it may not be that clear cut. Why not? His guarantee date comes on June 30th. That's right after the draft. And if the Spurs want to make a big trade, his larger expiring contract could be useful in doing so. Unless they can technically waive him and have up to $25 million in cap space, the Spurs may opt not to use their cap space, particularly in rumors trading for Trae Young. Blah, 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 blah. Wow. That might not. While he only shot 30% from three last season, he's an above-average, high-volume three-point shooter over the course of his career. A more consistent role could lead to more consistent results for Graham. Here's my pushback on Devonte Graham. The Spurs right now, the point guard pecking order, if you will, on the roster is Tre Jones. He's got one more year on his contract. I do think Tre's going to start next year. Blake Wesley, I think, showed us enough to give him a chance as a backup. And then if we draft a point guard, and of course this is a big if, a lot of ifs here, then that obviously moves Devonte Graham. He's not getting any time. If the Spurs make a trade for a point guard, and I know you guys don't like hearing these names, but we're going to hear point guard rumors to no end until the draft. And then if we draft one, that'll stop all that. But we're going to hear it left and right, Spurs fans. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, Chris Paul, Steph Curry. Insert point guard here. It's going to happen over and over again. I'm at a loss for words. The Devonte Graham thing really actually threw me off. I did not expect him to be on the keep list, especially not number one. I thought they were digging deeper into players like Raekwon Gray, Jabari Bouye, David Duke Jr. I thought we were going to look at the guys that, hey, they played well at the end of the season, helped contribute to the wins. Let's bring them on board. No, they went more the guys that the more well-known guys, if you will. All guys that are on this picture, except for Charles Bassey. In closing, I understand why they say yes to those four guys. But the Spurs gave Graham no playing time last year until the end of the season. I don't think that changes. He was a professional, didn't complain. In the end, did not play. I really don't think he's coming back unless he's part of a trade. Bassey, I'd like to see come back. If he's 100% healthy, okay, let's give him one more shot. If he gets injured again, and I'm going to knocking on wood right now, if he has any type of knee injury again, that's it. He's done. Osman, sure. And then Mamu. I put Mamu in the middle for a reason. I thought he was going to be number one. I was like, the way he played at the end of the year, I thought for sure he would be number one on this list. I thought Barlow's contract was just promoted to a 1 year. When I checked Basketball Reference for contracts, I don't think he was under contract next year. So that's why I had him on the bring back list. But maybe I don't know. I don't know what Mal was thinking. I don't know what I'm thinking at this moment. I want to thank you all so much. It's been a really fun in this offseason. I usually don't do this much Spurs content until the draft. But there's been a lot to talk about with the trade rumors and I'm finding that since I'm not able to go live every day, I suppose I could go live, but I'm not going live because there's no Spurs. We're not going live because there's no Spurs games to cover. Being able to chat with you guys via these type of videos, getting your feedback, and I'm very curious if you guys put your list down before you watch this video. If you're, as I was going through, if you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I didn't expect these players. So that's a lot of the fun is. Whether you agree, disagree, or we kind of meet somewhere in the middle on the comments on these pre-recorded videos. It's always fun to read what you guys have to say. I do read every single comment. I don't have time anymore to respond to every single comment, but I read everyone, even if it's you suck as a Spurs content creator, or clickbait head, or whatever any type of negativity just being thrown towards the show. I'm like, okay, you still watched the video or some of it, and you took the time to comment, so I appreciate that. Even if the comment might not be the nicest towards me, I still appreciate everything you guys write, and I can't wait till next season. Let me back up. I can't wait until the lottery results on May 12th. Then their draft on, I think, June 26th and 27th. It's 2 nights this year. First round one night, second round one next night. I should be live for both. Actually, I probably will be. I know I'm rambling, but I love talking to you guys. I just like talking to you guys. You guys should know that's why I do this. You're my Spurs family. I love chatting with you. But the NBA draft is going to be big, not only for the Spurs, but Miss TSR Sports, my girlfriend. We have decided that's when she's going to make her on-camera debut. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I'm very excited about it because not only is she going to be rooting for our Spurs to get a good pick, she is a huge UConn fan. Huge UConn fan. And she's very curious, of course, where Stephen Castle goes and Donovan Klingon. But also they have 2 or 3 guys that are projected to maybe go late first round or in the second round. I know Tristan Newton's a point guard that she would love us to take as take a flyer on. So if there's still a couple UConn guys available in the second round, then I'll definitely be live for that. Plus, the Spurs have 2 picks as it is. And there's going to be Bronny James sweepstakes to keep an eye on. Who is going to take Bronny in the second round? Somebody's going to. It's a fun time to be a Spurs fan, and I'm so thankful that we're getting to share this journey together. It's been 5 losing seasons, but I do see the winning on the horizon. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and as always, go Spurs go.
Ready with the game on. Ready with the game on. You know your basic to Wembley.